My name is Robert Harris. I am the instructor for marketing and leadership and organizational development for the School of Business. Okay, teach marketing classes, leadership courses, servant leadership courses also. Formative assessment that I use the most are typically verbal. I want to make sure that my students can articulate those words and phrases, so I'm constantly asking my students to present the words and phrases, or ask them questions in class sometimes from a Socratic standpoint, just to make sure they're hitting all those right concepts. I'll do the same thing from a group standpoint also. I make authorizations for the course based upon the demographics, the time of day that I'm meeting with my students, particularly also the modality. Is it online? Is it face-to-face? And finally, based upon the results that I'm getting back. If I'm finding that most of my students are reaching my targets in terms of them meeting the learning assignments and the learning outcomes, then I can move on. If I think that I need to repeat certain phrases or concepts, and I'll use my assessments as a guide. Okay, the process that we use would be to involve our assigned faculty who do assessments. And they come from a variety of courses. They could be coming from our accounting, from our legal department, also from our marketing department. They will look at our quizzes, our tests, and the results that we're receiving in those courses to make a determination. Are we doing the right things by the students? Are the students actually progressing through the course? Are they providing the kind of feedback that we think that would make sense for that particular curriculum? The development process could last as long as perhaps 3 months. To develop a new course and the assessment. It could probably take a matter of days to actually load that assessment onto our learning management system. Now, most colleges and universities use some kind of learning management system. It's just a software that you can load all your assignments, all the rubrics, all the syllabuses onto one location so the student can access that information. That learning management system also allows us the opportunity to do quizzes. The quizzes could also be essays. And it also allows us to keep the information in one place so that when the instructor is actually providing the grading's in one place and the student can actually read it in one place so the information never gets lost. And we can keep it for at least 5 years. Perhaps the major challenge that we face in the assessment process is to make sure that we're designing the course, the content, and the assessment to the actual student population in that particular geography. We want to say most times that there's standardization around the country to a degree that's possible, but if it's not, we want to make sure that we're assessing that. So we'll look at not only just the demographics, but whether the student is a military or non-military. Is this their first time in a college environment? We'll look at the background of the student. So all those things really play a key role in developing assessments. The most effective one that I like, again, are verbal, when a student can actually articulate those words and phrases. So presentation of the information, presentation within a group, writing, and that writing could be an essay, or it could be providing some kind of critical thinking analysis from an assessment standpoint. The tools that we use to measure assessments in the classrooms are derived from our learning management system. And that's the process where we're allowed to go in and look at the quizzes, we'll look at the course room discussions, we'll look at the timing of the grading, and we'll look at the feedback from our surveys to let us know that the student has actually learned the words and phrases, and then we can tell whether or not we can move on in the class, whether or not we should repeat the class again. We're also measuring the instructor himself, him or herself too. So those are the important ingredients and tools. Those results let us know whether or not we should continue the course in the same modality, online or face-to-face, whether or not we should use the same instructor, okay, because the instructor is clearly a very vital piece involved there. Whether or not there's some newer tools that should be used from a social media standpoint.